People, comrades, happy Socialist Sunday. How we doing? Should be coming through loud and clear now. Welcome to the Sunday livestream on my left eye. Solidarity, everyone. Thanks for joining us to see out the week. Who've we got in the chat? More, great to see you in like a flash with the first comment in the chat. Thanks for joining us. RC Pilots, Jacqueline, lots of familiar faces in the chat, and members of the Brew Crew. Lots of members in the chat. Martin Arnold, great to see you. And we have a doctor in the house, Doc Davies. Yes, the lights are on, and it's time for action. And speaking of action, thanks for throwing me a segue there, Doc. The reason I'm on so late today, people, apologies for the late start, but I have been working on that members only video that I did promise you, and with it being quite a lengthy one, it took a while to convert and stuff and obviously edit together. I went through a huge amount of footage, I have to say. Yeah, but that's out now. If you want to check it out, please do, members. After the stream, of course. It's quite a lengthy one, an hour and 6 minutes the video, but I've been working on that over the weekend. I really do thoroughly hope you enjoy that. Just one of the advantages of becoming a member, and speaking of which, more, thank you very much indeed for the gifted membership. Solidarity. I'll be playing the list of the latest members in just a moment, and I'll update that members goal as well. Thanks again, Mo. If you've not got onto that perk yet, please do check out part 1 as well. That's all about how I first got involved with Just Stop Oil and the first action that I took, my first arrest. It follows on from there into what was a very intense action phase. Yes, RC Pilot, huge video. Please do check that out. The more members we gain, the more content I'm able to put out there. I really do hope you enjoy that one. Yeah, really I'm hoping to throw members lots of juicy perks and benefits. So without further ado, let's thank the current members on the channel. Just get rid of the starting soon. We have started, thank you. Callum Roche will be added to this list. Hope you enjoy your perks. Please would appreciate comments on any of the members only videos as well. I'd like to know what sort of content you're enjoying the most. I can get hints at that through the analytics and stuff, but it's also great to hear it directly from you as well. Thanks a lot more. Yeah, do enjoy that. So if you want to join this list of people, it's just 99 pence, a fraction of the price of a tasty hot beverage, as we say on my left eye. It lasts a lot longer than a hot tasty beverage. Let's go through the many advantages of why it's such a great investment compared with your average high street hot tasty beverage emporium emporium or barista outlet vendor. So there's 2 of them. You also get to enjoy it over and over again. They'll be informative, hopefully entertaining, and in certain places you might raise a wry smile. Thanks again to all the members, and a huge shout out, people. Gifted memberships recently, and if you've renewed your membership, you should get an expiry notification. Those of you who've chosen to ride it out with us, stick it out with us over the months, do appreciate that. Jacqueline. Well, yeah, watch it on increased speed if you like. There's a lot to look out for, though. Well, You'll see when you watch it. Take your pick. As I do explain, I didn't throw too many cutaways in there. Some of the, some of the usual and increasing number of clips that I use, the cutaways and whatnot. One or two here or there. It honestly could have been 3 hours long. The first rough edit I did was about an hour and a half. I did trim out some more pieces. You'll see why. Got so much footage. Why it's split into 2 parts as well. That goes up to October the 14th of the action phase, and part 4 will carry on from there. Thence into part 4, late October and early November, next week. So I just about managed to squeeze that video into the end of the week. You are going to get one members only video, whether it's one in a series of JSO or otherwise, per week at least. But later on as well, people, okay, I need to pick your brains. I'm going to be revealing something new on the channel. I did say the more we grow, the further we expand, the more features there are going to be, etc. Hope you're liking the ones that we got so far. A few novelty ones, Keith's catchphrases, Musk and Trump's batshit crazy corner, that sort of thing. I've not done one of those for a while, actually. To be honest, it didn't get off the ground as much as I'd hoped. Hope it's not the theme music or whatever. Again, appreciate your feedback. But there is something new that's going to be coming on the channel, and I hope that you're going to enjoy it. I'll reveal a little teaser later on. Just a hint. It's mostly based at Brews at 10 live streams. But I do need to pick your brains because it's going to be somewhat interactive, let's say. There are going to be some suggestions that I'm going to be looking for, and I'll be picking out the best suggestions. Well, I'll try and do it every week, once a week. We'll see how the reaction is, but I'll get onto that later. Mystery box. Quality streaming. And hope you're enjoying this one particularly so far. Please make sure that you've hit the thumbs up button, people. Let's bring you up in the let's bring the chat up in the screen, is what I meant to say. I said nearly bring you up on your screens. That's not quite right. There we go. Just refresh this. Should come straight up. There we go. Yep. No need, hopefully, knock on wood. Technical problems are at bay for the moment. Also, yes, Morbius, going back to your gifted membership. Great to see that that's gone through. Also, so now, customarily update the members list. 86. So just 14 away from the total regular viewers, especially Brews at 10 viewers. We'll get that pun. Some tea-based puns do leak into the Sunday live stream now and then. Bernie, great to see you. Happy Socialist Sunday. And Mythbrill as well. Light as a feather, strong as dragon scales. Great to see you always. A long-term viewer on the channel as well. So I've managed to cobble together bits and pieces of a show tonight, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, they, thems, and comrades alike. Just a few things, of course, the little old thing of the global financial meltdown that's ongoing. Yeah, just, little things like that you normally find in a narrow column on page 2 or 4 of a newspaper. If you still read one, that is. I couldn't tell you the last time I purchased a physical newspaper myself. Any of the mainstream ones, that is. So the latest on that. Some countries have retaliated. Some have chosen to try to appeal to Trump. Probably isn't worth the time, given his reputation. But I'll be moving on to that. Also, the latest from the story I mentioned earlier on in the week, this attack on an ambulance convoy, and the sole surviving witness having provided contradictory testimony and evidence of Israel's accounts. I'm going to see, we're going to take a look at, I should say, how that story's been reported, how Israel have done a U-turn on their official story, but also the phrasing and wording from how it was put across in the mainstream media over the last 48 hours. I've got two separate articles, both from the Beeb, who have, you know, there's precedence of this with the Beeb. So we'll be taking a look at that, as well as other stories in UK politics. It seems that, again, corruption and, well, how can you otherwise put it, perversion seems to come hand in hand with certain areas of politics, i.e. the right. And a couple of examples this week. There's been that ongoing one with reform, fresh allegations against Labour MPs as well. Speaking of Labour MPs, just quickly back to Gaza and Israel. Two Labour MPs were involved in somewhat of a diplomatic incident earlier. They've been refused entry into Israel. They were detained when they got there and then later deported, which is somewhat unprecedented, seeing as that, well, officially, obviously not here on My Left Eye, they're considered an ally. So we'll talk about that, as well as why Israel seemed to get a free pass. Yet again, Giorgio, great to see in the chat. Okay, Mithril, let me know if there's anything too loud on the stream. Don't want to wake up your old grandson there. It's good to see that you're bringing up on quality content, though, from a very young age. Thanks again, Mithril. Oh, that's cute. That's sweet. Trump's economic auto-cannibalism is epic. That's another wonderful way of putting that tariff situation. Yeah, you're right there, RC. Well, is this also another example of how the United States is becoming a faded empire? Taking a look into that as well. I've got a comedy clip to get us going now that we're all nicely warmed up, but do have to thank Matilda Pazio, grazie molto, grazie tanto, for the 5 gifted memberships. Hope you all enjoy your perks. Thanks again for that. So now we're into the 90s with the membership goal, 91% there. Thank you very much. 91%, grazie Matilda Pazio, grazie tanto, grazie mille. Do appreciate that. So we're getting very close, Fingers crossed, not wood, all existing members will renew as we go through. We've gotten close and been pulled back once or twice. There's been the gifted membership technical problem, which has been resolved now, and we've seen 2 proofs of that tonight, thanks to both of you. 2 so far, that is. Perhaps, let's see, we just need another 9 more. Who's going to tip us over the 100? And I might throw an extra carrot on the stick there to say that they'll get a special shout out as well for being the one that got us over the line, but that doesn't take anything away from those of you who've joined the membership program or gifted to others recently as well. Let's kick off then with Matt Green's latest take on the tariffs. Both comedy clips, the one I'm going to use later on and this one, concern that they're both quite... Oh no, actually, do tell a lie. I decided earlier we're going to start with... because I want to get this out the way. I'll explain why. I'm going to start with the SNL sketch. A couple of reasons. Last time I used one of theirs, there was a copyright restriction on the channel. I had to trim that part out. I can't remember which stream that was on. That was in the last week or so. So with this one, it's a bit of an experiment as well, because I've done a little bit of tweaking. There are a few ways you can sort of get around it with speed of the video and other such things. So I'm going to see if I can get away with this one. So it'll be Saturday Night Live first and then Matt Green later on. Kira, thanks for throwing up the static emojis there. Including Palestine flags, of course. Also got 30p Lee there. Lindsay Hoyle. Keir Starmer. Yep. Blur's illegal invasion holiday snap. And is that the Diane Abbott one as well? Thanks again. Solidarity with Palestine, of course, as always. More about that later. So let's kick off with SNL. So I guess I have to say at this point, if you're watching back on a replay, there might literally be no comedy video and it'll just skip straight into me talking again. But if it's successful, then do enjoy their latest take on the Trump tariffs. A little American show you might have heard of called Saturday Night Live. Yeah. Fingers crossed. Thank you, Herbie. We'll be right back. Yeah, I don't often interrupt a comedy clip. Please do excuse me for that, but I remember that thinking that myself when I was watching the speech live about the chart wasn't alphabetical or numerical. It's just random. And the more props he tries to use, the worse he even looks. You know, they don't have a good... They're not on a good run of using props recently, like Elon Musk's cheese helmet thing, cheese hat thing earlier in the week or last week, whenever that was. But yeah, not great. This is a great take on it. And we've seen a few on SNL, but yeah, nailing it. Yeah. Jacqueline, the thing I noticed about Trump's hands, he does move his hands like a thunderbird, like you say. I think that's true. But he does this a lot. Watch this the next time he's talking, especially when he's at rallies and, well, all over the place. But it's the invisible opening and shutting of the curtains that I like to call it. He does this sideways motion a lot with his hand. You can't see it, this is a faceless channel, but if you just imagine that, he does that sideways motion with both hands simultaneously all the time. I do like a lot of Mike Wire's work, but I do have to say again, I can't distinguish this between Austin, you know, it's what is supposed to be Elon Musk, and Austin Powers maybe at 2 a.m. when he's had a few drinks. But yeah, I mean, you know, got to give every credit to Mike Myers. He's done some amazing work through the years. We did just notice that in the last SNL clip. Yeah, I see it is Mike Myers. Another observation I made recently, I guess it's as, you know, the years go on, and because they've both been involved with SNL, it becomes harder to distinguish between Mike Myers and, is it Jimmy Kimmel? I think it's Jimmy Kimmel, who does the late night talk show as well. Sort of a similar expressions and similar features. Just another observation. But yes, that is he. Famous for playing Austin Powers, Wayne in Wayne's World, the voice of Shrek. A lot of characters. Okay, yeah, fingers crossed. We'll see how get away with that, and I'll find out shortly after the stream finishes. But that was Saturday Night Live. I'd just like to reintroduce Herbie Ranger on the Supersonics Sunday streams resident background band, providing you with soothing jazz. So if you want to take it away once again, Herbie, thanks again. Yes, he is Canadian, I believe. Guitar Guy 80, welcome to the chat. He sounded a bit South African. I had a very close friend in school who actually moved over here from South Africa, was born there, so very familiar with the accent, and a lot of other people I know are from there. And so on, so I'm familiar, I'm more than familiar with the South African accent. I'm not going to do an impersonation of it here myself on the stream. So yeah, see if my tweaks with that video managed to get it through. Like I said the last time, had to be trimmed out. And of course the final confirmation that it is Mike Myers, not Jimmy Kimmel. The bit of self-referencing in another clip where they referred to Elon Musk losing $100 billion, and then it zoomed in on Mike Myers and he did the old Dr. Evil thing with the little finger to the mouth. Yeah. And I have used that character in a few videos before, you know, with the quotes, the air quotes, and the right, you know, that disbelief one. I won't do the, I'm not going to do the impressions. No impressions yet. Well, I guess you can give us your own scores out of 10 in the chats for what you make of that South African accent. South African. Well, there you go, I did it. I tend to do them spontaneously. Apologies. Are you in Afrikaans or in Afrikaans? Good question. Good question, RC. Right, so let's see what they were parodying there. Let's get into that. I'll just move over to
Please make sure that you've hit the thumbs up button harder than you'd like to hit Keir Starmer in the Ghoulies, and left a comment down below. Thank you.
Okay, we should be back on now. Thanks. Let's just bring Herbie back in. Apologies for that. I don't know what it's actually the broadcast software. got it locked in, the microphone and everything, and it just seems to randomly change the settings. I'm not sure how long I was off for though. Thanks again to all of the technical assistants on the channel. Apologies again. Where did I get up to before it cut out? Well, I'll just carry on where I was. I'll see if I need to track back. Did you... a good 10 minutes? Oh god. I can't go through all that again. Oh, that was really good as well. I can't summarise 10 minutes of what I just said. Thanks for notifying me in the chat. Well, what was I pointing out? I was basically pointing out that this isn't just a, you know, your usual regular stock market crash. That it's going to see the end of the American empire, basically because you've got organisations like BRICS who are moving away from using the dollar as global currency because now it can't be trusted. Because debt to GDP for the United States is something, the debt is something like 120% of the GDP, so the dollar's not reliable. The reciprocal tariffs from China also mean that lots of manufacturing in the United States now can't export there, and this is going to just go on and on and on. But they won't be able to think that debt is just, you know, something that they can debate about the existence of and things like this, how you measure the wealth of a country. It's spreading throughout the world. But some people, some countries that is, have already said that they won't issue reciprocal tariffs, only a few. Thousands protesting across the United States in opposition to the tariffs to denounce Trump. Largest show of opposition so far this year. In Boston, Chicago, Los Angeles, New York and Washington, amongst other cities. I was pointing out also whilst the mic was cut out there. Again, apologies for that. On a very basic setup here, but working on some upgrades. I did get a new mic recently, but it turns out it's the broadcast software that's the culprit also. But yeah, moving on. He was out playing golf today, by the way. Starmer's been on the phone to other countries non-stop all weekend. Apparently, looks like the European Union are going to impose countermeasures. Of course, they were tariffed 20%. Yes, RCI, you know, revelation. I do actually use OBS on this. Yeah, I guess the user interface on OBS is fine. It's I'm only using a very basic version of this, by the way. More on technical stuff later, so quick catch up. There's a few bullet points here from what's happened over the last 4 days, 3 or 4 days. So he announced this on the 2nd of April. No one's going along with it, but he's trying to call it Liberation Day. Yeah, 10 years before. Do you remember the Liberation Day? And people will be like, fucking what? Liberation? You know, whilst they're whilst they're turning a rat over a barrel fire, you know, for the supper. with complete scenes of dystopia in the background, of course. That's what they'll probably call it. And then on the 3rd of April, the day after, Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney, who of course used to be Governor of the Bank of England, said he'll match the 25% levies on car makers with a tariff on US-made vehicles that don't comply with an existing North American free trade agreement. The day after that, China announced it's going to again mirror those tariffs, 34%, as I mentioned before. The FTSE here in the UK plunged almost 5%, steepest fall in 5 years. So this is pretty much come into effect rather soon. Just yesterday, the US began collecting the 10% baseline tariff on all imports. As Trump, when you think about that as well, we're talking about global economics here, goods coming from all areas of the world. So a ship has set off from China or somewhere else far away. By the time they've got to the United States, those goods and those products are being tariffed. Yes, RC, it was giving me a bit of jip. Do have to be honest. I don't have a great deal of RAM either. I do need to update certain things. There's a handoff hovering over the tangent alert button, so just finally, Indonesia and Taiwan are some of those that won't impose retaliatory tariffs. And Netanyahu is going to travel to Washington to meet Trump on Monday. So yeah, slight sidetrack, but he didn't get arrested while he was in Hungary. Now it looks like he's going to be on his travels to America again, where he knows that of course they won't touch him, because they're complicit in the illegal occupation and genocide also. Let's say that again. Thank you, Herbie. That's Herbie Ranger and the Supersonics. If your pets are going absolutely apeshit right now, then that's because Herbie plays the trumpet at a supersonic level, which is somewhat inaudible to humans, so that just explains it. They're not scared of socialism or any kind of critique of Donald Trump. Don't worry, don't be concerned if you're at home and you think, why has my pet turned into a fascist? It's purely acoustics. Agricultural Secretary Brooke Rollins talking tariffs. Markets are adjusting. That's the way that markets are adjusting, plummeting. And this is one of those situations again, from the right, where they say, well, for a short period, things won't be that great, but then, further down the road, we'll reap the rewards, and you'll thank me. Whether that was with leaving the European Union, voting in a Labour government here in the UK, voting in Donald Trump in the United States of America. How many times are people going to fall for it? That's one thing that always irks me. The general electorate have somewhat short memories and seem to be far more forgiving for social injustice than I certainly would be. Maybe they'll accidentally send him to a prison in El Salvador. Politics, Clive. Yeah, good point there, and thanks for joining us in the chat. Let's keep our fingers crossed on that one. Well, this is slightly... The ambassador from Israel's here to see you, Mr. President, and... the attaché is somewhat irked. Yeah, they'd wake him out of his sleep for that one, wouldn't they? So I won't go through all of the latest points. That's the latest, but 50 countries trying to reach out, you know. Just trying to, you know, what's all this about, fella? It's about global meltdown. What can you say? Inflation is going to go through the roof. This is going to hit Starmer and Reeves' plan for change in the bollocks with a hefty run-up as well, I might say. They're going to have a lot to answer for. The more the bullshit that they promised. So's Trump. Egg's going to turn into currency now. Because the only thing that's been said positively recently is apparently the price of eggs came down slightly, having continued to rise after he took office. But surely that's going to make a mess in your pocket or your purse or your wallet. Oh, that must be, of course, that's another factor. Of course. That's obvious why it is a move to change the currency in the States to eggs, where the homelessness crisis is concerned as well. One day, generous people, for some reason, are going to start throwing eggs at homeless people, and that's not only going to cause a great amount of confusion, particularly from the unfortunate recipients. The day that it does happen, you know, they'll think it's some sort of attack. I'll leave the doom scrolling on that one there for now. Gotcha. Alright people, please make sure you hit thumbs up on the stream if you're just joining us. And if you're watching back on a replay as well. And please do add a comment on the streams. That really does help get us around. Currently sitting on 91 memberships into the goal of 100. Thanks again for those contributions. Let's move on next to home affairs, starting with this is dark, people. This, I mean, look at the sort of quality of politics and politicians that we have in the UK now. So first of all, this guy. Let's just reduce the screen. God. What's he fucking called, this fucking idiot? Stephen Hartley, that was it. So yeah, this fucking nuthole. First of all, has been embroiled in controversy for defending the late Jimmy Savile, of course, a serial child sex abuser. won't go into that. I'm sure we've all heard about that. Suspended from Reform, who have previously gotten behind other candidates, other members, MPs, who were convicted of domestic violence as well. And then there's this. It's not just Reform. Dan Norris, you know, all over the place. It's like the House of Commons is just riddled with degenerate pederasts and God knows. So he's arrested on suspicion of child sex offences and rape, child abduction and misconduct. Child abduction. So he's the MP for North East Somerset and Hanham. He's the one who knocked out Jacob Rees-Mogg. He was previously, he was in Blair's government in Wansdyke, representing Wansdyke, also under Gordon Brown. So there's something about the right, and it either does things to people, but you know, you've got to really say these are the sort of people that they take on. It's not that politics or the position made them this way. This grotesque. Well, we'll see what comes of that. Obviously he's being charged, and these are allegations. I guess I have to use that word, seeing as it's an ongoing case. Don't want to make myself libelous, or would it be slander? Yeah, but the abduction, you know, misconduct in public office, that charge, all, you know, flies over your head, but that's included with those other atrocious charges. Atrocious. This happened a lot when the Tories were in course as well, as with, you know, most politicians. We had the guy who was caught watching pornography in the House of Commons. There was a guy who was found to literally just walk up to other men in clubs and at parties and whatnot and grab them by the crotch. As one does. Don't want to linger on that too much. It's making my skin crawl. And just while we're talking about things over here in the UK, this will lead me on to things in Palestine. So MPs denied entry into Israel. Abtisam Mohammed on the left and Huan Yang have now left. And this is quite unprecedented, people. They said it was vital that parliamentarians were able to witness the situation in the occupied Palestinian territory firsthand. Of course, at the moment, mainstream media aren't allowed into Gaza. The incredible documentary that came out on iPlayer has since been taken down. So they went over there basically to have a look for themselves. And of course, Israel are denying entry to journalists, not because they have anything to hide. Yeah, insert legitimate reason here. I guess they'd just say if you don't like that, then you must be an anti-Semite. Yeah, right. But Kemi Badenoch seems to have somewhat defended Israel in this, saying that they have a right to control their borders. Now, is this, you know, again, trying to look strong on immigration? We're talking about two very specific people here, not just, you know, the general controlling of borders that we hear so much from the Tories with regard to migrants. Bad call there, Kemi. God, she's fucking terrible, isn't she? Even David Lammy has criticised Israel authorities, saying that it's unacceptable, counterproductive and deeply concerning. I guess he's just backing his team there, with them being Labour MPs. So what's he going to do about it, Lammy? You know, the ball's in your court with this one, Mr. Home Secretary. Well, he's probably lobbied well enough to stay out of that one, isn't he? So, essentially they've accused them, they've said that they can't be certain that they won't break any of Israel's laws, and then they were deported. But they can't be certain that they won't break any of the laws. Now, what laws might those be? Is it now written into Israeli law that, as well as journalists not being allowed into Gaza, that no one's going to know the truth? They're trying, again, the attempts at propaganda when it's all out in the open. Everyone knows what Israel are doing in Gaza. It's pathetic how they try and cover it up. This might have had something to do with it though. In January, one of the pair spoke in favour of bringing sanctions against Israeli ministers Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich, bastards both, after they suggested building Israeli settlements in northern Gaza to encourage Palestinians to leave. She also highlighted the dangerous conditions of journalists and medical professions, which they face, I should say, whilst in the Palestinian territory. Emily Thornberry has said it was an insult to Britain. She's the chair of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee. But she was a Corbyn backstabber. But could you imagine if this happened, what would be said if this had happened, if they were visiting China or Russia, or, you know, pick a few countries, or even here in Europe, you know, our allies in Europe, and this happened? Things would be up in arms. This would be labelled diplomatically unacceptable, beyond the pale. You know, the phone line operator at LBC would be working around the clock. But why? Because it's Israel, do they seem to get a pass? I think that's a fair question. Yeah, anywhere else? Anywhere else? But particularly because this is an ally, an official ally. But as I said, not an ally of this channel. And we're going to go into why now. With the story I brought up at the beginning of the stream, this attack on the ambulance convoy. But also the language that the mainstream media are using and the way that this is being reported. As essentially, just try and summarise as best as I can, the Israelis were claiming essentially that the ambulances didn't have the lights on, the headlights or their emergency lights, and were acting suspiciously, whatever that's supposed to mean. And there's a video of this. You can clearly see as other people start to pull up that the lights and headlights are on. You can see them encircled in that picture there. But this article is entitled "Video Footage Appears to Contradict Israeli Accounts of Gaza Medic Killings." Appears to. As though you can't notice an ambulance with flashing lights. So it should say, you know, video footage clearly contradicts Israeli account of Gaza medic killings. And this was yesterday when this came out. I don't know if you've seen that. I'll just see if this plays through okay. Sorry if there's any buffering. Those lights are on. The lights are on. Okay, so what Israel have said, complete bullshit. As always, as usual. Not tell me that they appear to be on. They are on.
هي مرمي بسرعة.
And they go to check it out and then they get fired upon. 15 rescue workers killed. Yeah, was a massacre. Israel have admitted mistakes. Admitted mistakes. No. It's just pure lies. It's just more of their outright lies. We can see also how they changed the tune and also how the BBC reported it. So this is what came out earlier today. Israel changes accounts. Come on, we've got to get this bullshit story out there. Let's do the excuse making for Israel. After all, you know, we do have to defend them. I mean, how many times have we seen them, interrupt an interview to take Israel's side. Really is appalling. So now that they've been found, oh no, now that you actually know about this thing that we lied about, you know, it looks as though we might have made a mistake. But guess, you know, again, as always, don't worry, because they're going to mark their own homework. And the last that we'll hear about it, as with so many other illegal attacks, illegal killings, murders, is what they are. It's outright murder, to give it its proper title. So many of them get investigated by Israel themselves, and that is the last that we hear about it. Israel will be conducting a thorough investigation. Now, with this having gone on for some length of time now, if you cast your mind back through all of the atrocities that happened throughout this illegal occupation, and think how many times you heard it come onto the news, breaking news, hold the press, because Israel have released the results of one of their investigations. No, that never even happens. You don't even hear them officially deny it because of the result of one of these investigations. It's just mentioned on the mainstream media, and then it seems to disappear like it never happened, and that people won't think about or remember people like Hind Rajab and thousands of other victims, which surely at this point is going into six figures, the hundreds of thousands. That's what they expect to happen, but that is what we must refuse to let happen, people. So let's continue to stand against that and show solidarity with Palestine. They're also claiming, yet again, that they were attacking Hamas members. Your hospital is made of Hamas. Your school is a Hamas command centre. Your child's head is a Hamas command centre and training facility. Again, yeah, right. So despite the IDF promising an investigation of their own, the Red Crescent and other international organisations are calling for an independent investigation. I can tell you straight away, I can foresee the results or outcome of that under current circumstances is that they'll be refused entry to the country, or they'll try and delay it to the extent that they can try and hide as much evidence as possible. And heaven forbid people, that the BBC could write an article about what's happening in Gaza without mentioning the Hamas breakout attack, retaliatory attack on October the 7th, 2023. They couldn't get to the end without pointing, they started it. Oh yes, honest, they started it. This is how this started. Every time. But even Israelis themselves are getting sick of things like this, people. You might be shocked, you know, literally there's a lot of politics in this as well, domestic politics where Israel's concerned, other not just legal stuff where the ICC is concerned and whatnot. We're talking about internal investigations for corruption with Netanyahu, Yoav Gallant, people like that being involved. Excuse me. But even Israelis themselves calling for a stop to this. Now, initially, the bulk of these protests concerned the fact that they knew that it was just so counterproductive towards getting the Israeli hostages returned, something which, of course, comes up a lot in stories about this. But now that's shifted over, leaning more towards the fact that Israelis themselves are aware that what the IDF are doing to Gaza, what Netanyahu is doing, people like, you know, Katz, formerly, people like Yoav Gallant as well did to Palestine. They know that they're literally atrocious things. They are atrocities. They are illegal. Now, obviously, Israel's state media is very biased, but this isn't North Korea that we're talking about to the extent that Israel can stop information getting through to Israelis themselves about what's actually going on, the atrocities that are being carried out. Even though, as I pointed out, the BBC often, if not always, lean towards the side of Israel, even from their reporting. Anybody with a brain between their ears can actually see what's going on, even if it's only biased reports like this. So they're taking to the streets of, well, I've got a brief clip of one of these protest marches and demonstrations. So, yeah, stop the massacre. We're used to seeing banners, placards, signs and whatnot saying, you know, free the hostages, return the hostages. Of course, I've commented time after time on this channel as to how Netanyahu has tried to stop that. You know, he's clinging to his own political career with this. Well, I guess you have to say, and it's very sick, and it is a very sad situation. The truth of it is that they're being used as a bargaining chip, and they're trying to accuse Hamas of using human shields, when in fact we know that the IDF do that as well. But if you're talking about political human shields, then you have to look at the hostages and include them in that description. So well done, because, you know, that obviously coming from inside Israel itself, I'm certain is pretty dangerous for anyone carrying out those kind of protests. Over the last year and a half or so, I've seen countless times, even from inside Tel Aviv, places like this where Orthodox Jews have spoken out against what Israel is doing in Palestine. Within Israel, they've been widely attacked and abused by the Israeli police forces as well. So as well as the atrocities carried out in Gaza. I guess you can include that in some of the awful things that I can't directly show you clips of on the channel. Don't want to break terms of service, but I can describe that I've certainly seen Israeli police beating Orthodox Jewish protesters in Israel with batons, punching them. They really are vicious bastards, but they always bully, they always beat down, as we know. That's probably why so many casualties in this thing are children, you know, disproportionately. But when they come up against people who actually have the means to defend themselves in places like Lebanon, then they just get their arse handed to them. You know, that last ground attack was completely repelled. They took an absolute beating there on the Lebanese-Israeli border. So yeah, they can only punch down. Quite grotesque, isn't it? So they really are sticking the neck out, those protesters. Let me know what you think about that in the chat, people. Just also want to remind you, hit thumbs up on the stream if you're listening live or back on a replay even. However you're listening to the stream, also please give us a share across your social media as well. And we're available if you want to give us a follow on Blue Sky at Lefty UK, as well as Mastodon and Twitter, so please do look us up. Same logo as we use here on the channel, obviously. That makes it easier to find us. We do follow back all genuine socialists as well, so yeah, please do check us out there. Another little reminder as well, there's a members only video that just came out shortly before the stream as well. Please do give that a look. Set yourself a reminder, bookmark that however you'd like to. I do appreciate that. That's part 2 of my JSO journey. Or as much as I could squeeze into 1 hour and 6 minutes at least, yeah. It's a 2-parter, that action phase. It's actually the first time I've gone through all of that footage that I had for a while. It was quite pleasant actually to be reminded about things that I've not seen for a while, footage that I've not been through for a while as well. Yeah. So likewise, I hope you do enjoy that, and thumbs up, buttons, etc. Yeah, it's a popcorn feature. Mostly exclusive footage from me. A few other bits from JSO Media in there, but I have credited them, of course, as always, credit where it's due, here on my left eye. Ordinal Father, do we think the US will be renamed to Trumpland on his 3rd term? No, I think it will generally be known as Global Exclusion Zone A, or something like that. The Forbidden Land. Who knows how far this could go. It's hard to keep up, it's hard to project for both the short term and the long term. At the moment, not both with being so much going on, but also, you know, Trump's very erratic, unpredictable, changes his mind one day to the next, we're all aware of that. Also, you got the global alliances situation where the line in the sand between Russia and Ukraine is concerned. That does include the most heavily nuclear armed nation on planet Earth, who now seem to be palled up with the second most nuclear armed nation on Earth. So perhaps US and America, the United States of America and Russia might take on the rest of us someday. I don't know, that's a very broad speculation, I know. But a particularly worrying one. Do you know what the second biggest air force in the world is outside of the United States Air Force? It's the United States Navy. Yeah, they got the first and the second. There are so many planes under the control of the Navy. So whether it's through tariffs or international conflicts, certainly on a bad slope, people. Right, okay. I'm going to carry on now. I'm just deciding, just having a think whether this is the time to reveal a sneak peek at a new feature that's going to be coming out next week on the channel. What do you think, people? Would you like to see that now? It's just a little something I threw together, but I'm hoping it can grow as a feature, especially because of its interactive qualities, I should say. That's a bit of a spoiler as to what it might be about. Okay, yeah, I'll do that now, and then we'll go on to something else, hopefully light-hearted as well. Let's try and raise our spirits after the doom scrolling there, people. So yeah, check this out, especially for fans of music and whatnot. I hope that you're going to enjoy this new feature, and I'll explain more about why it's interactive just after this little teaser trailer that I've put together. Alright, here we go. You'll either like this or it'll crash and burn, and this will be the end of the channel.
Do you like a hot, tasty beverage with your music? Then my left eye has got a treat for your ears. The Brews at 10, the album, all your favourite beverage-based hits from the 1960s to now, all in one place. Volume 1 is now available, featuring
Love Me Brew, The Beatles, Virtual Insanity, Jamiroquai, Knowing Tea, Knowing You, ABBA, Tears Don't Fall, Brew It for My Valentine, and The Power of Love by Brewy Lewis and the Brews. Order now.
She'll be back on now. Yeah. So I'm just going to play that again and explain why it's an intro. I hope you enjoyed that, by the way. Sorry I left you hanging at the end. I'll play it through, and then we saw a few examples of the hot tasty beverage based songs, so just to give you those examples again. And what I want you to do, people, is if you can come up with your own, if you know any of your favourite beverage based hits, then do let me know in the comments or in the chat if you're watching live. So just gonna see that ad again.
Do you like a hot tasty beverage with your music? Then my left eye has got a treat for your ears. The Brews at 10, the album, all your favourite beverage based hits from the 1960s to now, all in one place. Volume 1 is now available, featuring
Love Me Brew, The Beatles, Virtual Insanity, Jamiroquai, Knowing T, Knowing You, ABBA, Tears Don't Fall, Brew It for My Valentine, and The Power of Love by Brewy Lewis and the Brews. Order now.
As you can see, we're experiencing a minor technical difficulty here on My Left Eye. Our team of expertly trained technicians are working busily to restore the stream. In the meantime, please make sure that you've hit the thumbs up button harder than you'd like to hit Keir Starmer in the Ghoulies, and left a comment down below. Thank you.
Okay, how's that, people? Not entirely certain what that noise was there, or why it... Oh god. I am working on it, people. Thanks for your patience. Good, good. Thought that's better. We pay the team of monkeys very well to help out with the technical problems. Thought I was fleeing the planet, and not just yet. Also, can't afford that at the moment, and yeah. Where would you go? To Musk's Mars project? No. No thank you. It's as good as a death sentence, really, isn't it? Right, people. Did not visit Keith's Fondue Lounge as we often do at the start of Sunday stream, so I'm going to do that now towards the end. Yes, Clive, they are teething issues. Equipment upgrades pending. But once again, I do have to give credit to the IT department. We've got a choice, people. I'm almost certain which way you'll say we should go with this one. We've got No Justice, who's live at the moment here in the UK, and also the Vanguard, who are broadcasting from the US. So I'm going to select one of those. Wink wink, slightly biased. Whilst everything is functioning properly, now that things are restored, let's go over and visit Keith in the Fondue Lounge. It seems to happen when I don't turn the mic off, I turn it down in some places. And then when I turn it back up, it's just gone. But that's another story. Are you there, Keith? That's right, so can Keith fend off the global financial crisis and somehow strike a deal with Trump? That remains to be seen. I will of course be keeping you up to speed with the latest on that story and everything else, plus my thoughts, opinions and commentary in the Brews at 10, so please do join me there through the week. But we are getting towards the end of the stream now. I'll give another shout out to the members in just a moment. Yeah, hit the buttons, people. Hope you've enjoyed this Sunday live stream. It'll just be a fleeting appearance at the Fondue Lounge. We'll be seeing Keith again next week. So I'll just say thanks again to the members. Excuse me while I remove the chat to do so. Got some new names to add to the list as well, so we're on 91 out of 100. Fantastic, so we almost got over that milestone on today's stream. Thanks again for your gifted memberships. IT department, very good, Clive. Is it the same monkeys from Basement Jacks? I haven't checked, I haven't asked. I don't know if that's really my department, really. And thanks once again to Herbie Ranger and the Supersonics, My Left Eye's Sunday Stream House Resident Band. So I'll be popping over to No Justice with you good people very shortly. I did have another comedy clip lined up, but I'm going to save that one for tomorrow's live stream. Things have overrun slightly more than I anticipated tonight, so just get straight into the raid, the redirect. And in that case, all that remains is for me to thank you for joining me here on tonight's Sunday live stream. I've been your host, Lefty. You've all been fantastic. I'll see you over on the raid, but if not, take care of yourselves. My Left Eye will be seeing you soon. Just one last plug for the album and then we'll pop over.
Do you like a hot tasty beverage with your music? Then My Left Eye has got a treat for your ears. The Brews at 10, the album, all your favourite beverage-based hits from the 1960s to now, all in one place. Volume 1 is now available, featuring
Love Me Brew, The Beatles, Virtual Insanity, Jamiroquai, Knowing T, Knowing You, ABBA, Tears Don't Fall, Brew It for My Valentine, and The Power of Love by Bruce Lewis and the Brews. Order now